The next method is creating your own salt wash. So what you need to do that is a cup of warm water. Make sure it's not like boiling hot. You don't want to put boiling hot water on you, but you do want it to be warm because cold is not going to help you so much. Warm will. So this right here is 8 ounces of water. You can see in this glass that it doesn't come all the way to the top. It leaves about 1/3 of nothing there. That's roughly 8 ounces. With that 8 ounces of water, you will then take some salt. So Body J For You did send me this like Pearson specific rinse salt, which is fantastic. I'm excited for that. Usually I just go to the grocery store and I'm like, non-iodized salt, there we go, sounds good. So this is 100% Dead Sea salt. We're getting fancy up in here. It's just in this really nice container. It even gives you directions on the back on the appropriate portions of what you should be making with your salt solution. So you have the 8 ounces of water. You take about a 1/4 teaspoon of this salt, you put it in there, mix it all together, make sure that it is completely dissolved. You can't see any like remnants of salt in there. And then that's when you know your solution is ready. Again, make sure the water is warm. So you would take this off. You don't want salt to go everywhere. You've got some salt in there. 1/4 teaspoon is not a lot. It's like a pinch. Maybe a little bit more than a pinch. And that just gets into the water. Then you need to make sure that it's all stirred up, that it's all good. You want it to be completely dissolved. So with this salt solution, you can apply it several different ways. If you just are cleaning your brand new Pearson, nothing's wrong with it, it's not looking gunky or it's not like infected or inflamed or anything like that, you can do the same thing that you did with the spray. Just take your Q-tip, kind of make sure that it's saturated, get back to your Pearson and rub it around there without twisting the jewelry. So that's one means. Another means, and a lot of people aren't too keen on this, but I do find this is very beneficial if you are noticing that a Pearson is a little bit more gunky or if you kind of feel like it's about to get infected, take a cotton round, preferably one that's not quite so fluffy. You'll notice with cotton rounds, some are way more fluffier than others and have more fibers, which is the main reason why people don't like these, is because you'll notice there are some fibers. Same with Q-tips though. I personally have never had a problem with Q-tips or cotton rounds, so that's why I use them. But with this, you just submerge it in the water, make sure that it's saturated. I mean, you can see that it is dripping off. Kind of wring out any excess. You don't want to like have all of this sopping on your Pearson. You just want this to be saturated so that you can lay this on your Pearson site. When your Pearson is infected or looking a little bit more oozy, this is a good method because then you can just kind of lay it on top, keep it there for, I typically do like 5 to 10 minutes. Some people do only a minute. I find that it's best with 5 to 10 minutes so that it can sit on there, kind of work its way in there, and then you can remove it. If you're like me, you'll also be satisfied to see the gunk lifted onto this. It's kind of gross, but it's also kind of cool to be like, hey, it worked. You can also take tissue. I don't prefer tissue as much as I do cotton rounds or cotton Q-tips, but a lot of people will do tissues. You can break it off, you can do the same concept, just kind of pick pieces off, rub it in there, or just hold it in there, and it does the same thing. Along with your salt solution, you can add in tea tree oil. Body J For You sent me over some 100% tea tree oil. This is pure tea tree oil right in this little bottle. You never want to apply tea tree oil by itself directly to a Pearson site. It is too strong. So with your salt solution, if you're noticing that it needs a little bit extra care, a little bit more TLC, you can take 2 to 3 drops of this and put it in here. Now I will say, you gotta be really careful because this is an open mouth bottle. So 1 to 2 drops, that was 3 right there. You gotta be very careful. You don't want a whole lot of tea tree oil because it is really strong. If you prefer to only use 1 to 2, you can do that. 3, I think, would be the max of what you wanted to do because tea tree oil, again, is incredibly strong and abrasive. Once you've added your tea tree oil to the concoction, you put your cotton round, I only have 1, sorry, but you put your cotton round in there, let it soak it up, bring it up, wring out the excess, and put it on your Pearson site. So those are my preferred methods of cleaning brand new Pearsons. These are new Pearsons, these are not ones that you've had